And we back, y'all. We back. Hey, first and foremost, happiest of holidays. I hope you had a very prosperous one. Hope you had a good one. And I hope you had a great New Year's. We are right into this New Year's, the second week of January, and things are indeed popping off. But I would be remiss if I didn't first acknowledge our friends and family and loved ones out in Southern California, out there in LA. So, I don't know, Caleeb, if you can give us more info, but I just want to make sure that we acknowledge that as well, because I have a ton of friends out there, doing the acting thing and just living their best lives. So it's heartbreaking to see all the fires and everything that's going on, the evacuations. But so far, everybody that I know has been safe. And I hope that is the same way for people that you know. Caleeb, could you share any light on this or shed any light on this?
Yeah, it's there are fires that are going on. I think it's a complete failure of our political system here in California. That's what happens when you have a system based on money. So a capitalistic society, it's in their best interest for things to go wrong. Like they want to clear homeless people off the street, because they don't want to look bad, but they don't want to clear out all the dead brush, trees and things that are all in the mountain areas that is fuel for the fire when the Santa Ana winds come. I lived in California my entire life. These fires have been happening every year for like the past 6-7 years, right? Every single year at the exact same time. Why is that? How does that happen? Because they don't want to do the maintenance that it takes to maintain it. Twice a year, all you got to do is go in there and clear everything out. Because fires, Santa Ana winds come every year. They're known so much, we name them, we know when they come, we know what it is. And they still allow these things to happen. So there's politics involved. They don't want to spend money on that, but they want to tax us like crazy to live here. But they don't want to use the tax money for that, right? Which is ridiculous. They want to cut back education. They want to cut back money for schools, but it's ridiculous. You don't want to do these things, but you want to help illegal immigrants. Not saying you shouldn't, but I mean, damn, right? Like, you think you could use some of the money that we used to help the illegal aliens to kind of keep fires from burning everybody's houses up who live here, right? Like that kind of stuff. And I know that's controversial, but I don't care, because I'm seeing it and I'm looking out of my window and I see smoke billowing. And it's like from lack of care. It's like maintenance. It's simple maintenance, right? That they don't want to do. I guarantee you, if they would have done maintenance or do maintenance, that the fires would be at minimum 20% of what they are now. Easily. Yeah, because there's nothing to burn. You ever see a mountain after it's been burned? Try to start a fire there. You can't. Nothing burns because there's nothing left. So if you clear it out and spend the money that it takes, and I'm sure, let's just say it's a couple $2 billion a year. Let's just say that, right? So you know what I'm saying?
It does that much in damage every year.
It does way more than that. More than that in damage. More than that in damage, right? So I'm just saying it's ridiculous. There's whole neighborhoods that got burnt down. Like cities like us. There's a city called Altadena that I don't expect anybody outside of California to know about. Like whole neighborhoods were burnt down. I'm talking like whole, like small parts of the city. Like it looks like it was bombed in the German Blitzkrieg in London in 41. You know what I mean? Like you're like, what is going on? So again, it's a complete failure of the politicians. Firemen are out there and don't have water to put out fires because the pipes are broken and the water's not getting it. And it's like, what is in the richest state in America outside of New York? I think it's New York and California are the two richest, right? The bluest, who supposedly care about everybody unless you're a citizen.
Right.
You know what the incomparable Jack Black said: when the Santa Ana winds go, anything can happen. But we know what happens. It's wildfires. And I'll be honest, I have an aunt that lives there. But Caleeb, you kind of gave your answer. We're trying to clean homeless people off the street. We have all this dead brush and debris. Maybe we can have them, go over and clean some of that stuff. And we can build some homes in that area for the homeless, shelters and whatnot.
Guess who would gladly do it if you gave them asylum? The illegal aliens that you're trying to protect.
Yeah,
They would do that shit in
100%.
a heartbeat. No
Right.
problem.
100%.
Thank you for allowing us to be here.
And again, I
We will
agree
take
with you.
care of
They
that.
they should be able to come. I'm not against the
No,
immigration. I'm
I'm
with
not
it too.
tripping.
We need
But
them
they
here.
can earn it.
But that's an easy way to, but you know what? There'll be people against that even. So
Oh, of course. People are
Yeah.
against everything. Everything.
Yeah.
Right. So, but it doesn't make it any less a need to be done. So anyway, I know this is what this show is about, but that's my answer as far as what's going on. It's a terrible, terrible tragedy, and it happens every single year, and nobody seems to care enough to do anything about it when it's a simple maintenance thing.
Mhm.
you know what?
That's
You get
it.
a lot of people on IG posting a place to send money or our prayers are with. But you're right. There's so many things that we could do
Yeah.
with this in this state before it even gets to have to, like, and people think they're like, whenever some crisis happens, everyone thinks, oh, I'll just post my prayers are with this and that. Do something. Do something. 'Cause
Right.
your prayers aren't ending the problem. It happens every year. We know it like clockwork.
Mhm.
It's so if we know it like clockwork, it is preventable. That's what I'm saying.
Yes. 1000%. So that's my point. So, anyway, I know I digressed a little bit, but went on my
It's all good. It's all good, man.
tangent.
I
It's an
asked,
important
and we all have connections. So I just want to make sure that people knew that we're also acknowledging, no matter where we are in the pecking order of what kind of podcast you listen to or how you get your sports fix, we still are human beings at the end of the day, and we still have feelings, and we still have people that we love and care about. So again, from the Pop Off Uptown Sports Network, we want to make sure that we're sending a lot of love. And speaking of love, thank you, Johnny boy. Yes, thank you. And don't forget, it was Caleb's too. Caleb's is right after mine. So happy belated to you as well, my man. Capricorns, we coming in hot for 2025. Now, on to the topics at hand. We have a special guest that'll be here with us momentarily, but for now, let's jump into all things NFL. There has been a lot going on this week, especially leading up to week 18, the final week of football. Man, that was a fantastic. If you didn't watch it, and the score is not indicative of what happened, but that Lions-Vikings game was outrageous. It already felt like it was like everything was at stake. So just to catch you up to speed, the Detroit Lions ended up winning that game against the Vikings, so they lock in the number one NFC seed, which is huge for them, so they can get some rest because they have a lot of injuries on that squad. So that being said, let's also talk about the injuries due to coaches being ousted. There's been a lot of coaches that have been fired, not only in the last week. I think there's 3 in the span of 3 days. But even if we go back to the early days of November, so we've had Robert Salagon, Dennis Allen, Matt Eberflus. So we're talking about Jets, New Orleans Saints, Chicago Bears, and most recently, Patriots let go of Mayo, Jaguars let go of Peterson, Raiders let go of Pierce. So there's been a whole bunch of firings. But my question to you guys is, which coach should be most thankful that they weren't among that list? I'll start, Mike McCarthy, and I'm done. Anybody else can have that.
Well, I'm gonna just say, to Mike McCarthy's credit, he wasn't trying to stay. He was gonna go talk to Chicago, and Dallas stopped him from being able to do that. So he's saying, we either barbecue or mildew. What we doing? Are we making it happen or are we not? Because McCarthy was like, cool, you don't want me? I'm going to go to Chi-Town, because they called him first before they called Pete Carroll. And Jerry stepped in and said no. So it's like he's lucky, but not really, because he was going to go get a job anyway. Pierce I feel bad for him, because I thought the Raiders should give him a shot, like to really like build a team. But I think when he called the team soft, that like it just, rubbed people the wrong way. I think that's what happened. But you guys look like you're going to be getting Rex Ryan again. So congrats to the Jets.
I honestly don't think it's going to happen.
Oh, I think it is.
I mean, if it does, Woody Johnson has to wear a clown nose for the entire run of Rex, because that's what it is. It's a circus. P.T. Barnum.
Yeah, and I think the Falcons coach, he's all right, because they didn't make it, but they were like close. Probably, if I had to say anybody, because I know I didn't answer the question, who's lucky to still have a job, maybe you can start looking at Seattle. Maybe you can look at the Cardinals, right? Like certain teams that could have like done better or maybe should have but didn't. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing.
I agree with the Cardinals because we've been hearing for the longest time. We just need a healthy year out of Kyler Murray,
right.
And now we get and some weapons, and we did it this year. And
yeah,
so I agree.
So
That's not my team, but I agree with that one.
Yeah, I would say like probably the Cardinals.
I'm gonna give you guys one. I like this coach. I think he's a good coach. He's kind of had a bad, not the fairest of shakes. Brian Dable. I think a lot of fans were expecting Dable to get canned.
But he's a good coach.
I give him the credit for Josh.
He had
Allen.
no quarterback though.
I give him the credit. They won a playoff game. They beat a 13-win playoff team with Daniel Jones. Okay. But the team has looked pretty bad since then. And we thought this was a year. Daniel Jones, they get Malik Neighbors, all this type of stuff. The team is a dumpster fire again. So I was telling my brother-in-law, he's a Giants fan. I was like, I don't know if Dable's going to survive. I'm thinking maybe he could be a Jet coach next year. But he has stayed. And now he's still on here for another year.
Well, you know what? Why don't
wait? Can I just real quick? Can I just get because I think everybody's missing the picture, the big boat, the big picture, the boat. I don't know, whatever it is. You're wrong, Caleb. Respectfully, and Woody, you're both wrong. Nigel, respectfully, you're wrong. It is Zach Taylor who had the number one quarterback in the league, first in yards, third in QBR, first in touchdowns. Chase, first in touchdowns, first in yards, first in receiving, first in yak. Hendrickson led the league in sacks, and this guy can't get a winning record this year. That means there's something else going on. But all the players, it's definitely the coaching. I think Zach Taylor is damn lucky to have a job right now. He had to make the playoffs this year, and then especially when you see the what his team did this year, having every phase of the game, just as doing so well. If it's not him, I mean, because I could see reasons of why Dable has a job. No quarterback. They're going to let him draft his own quarterback, and they're going to say, all right, we're giving you 2 years with this guy. All these guys, I get it. But Zach Taylor had a good team. The defense took a little bit of a dip. I get it. But they still had the sack leader on their team. And this guy can't get him into the playoffs with the top quarterback, the top receiver, and the top pass rusher in the league. That to me, that guy is – that guy has a – he might have a picture of the owner – doing some, some scrupulous stuff, I think, because there's no reason that Zach Taylor should have a job at this point.
Well, here's where I disagree. Go ahead.
I was going to say, because it's so interesting. I mean, look at Gene obviously has said, Woody's wrong, Caleb's wrong, I'm wrong. But let's see if he's going to call our guest wrong. So we've already talked about one side of New York. Let's go to the other side of New York, and let's bring in the one, the only Alex Day. Now, this guy is a huge New York fan in general, Giants, as he is wearing some swag right now. Respect to you, sir. And a Yankees fan, if you are not following this gentleman, please do at Alex Day 7 on IG. I'm not sure if it's across the board, but IG. He does some fantastic streeters and all around good guy. And every once in a while, he wears a pretty damn nice Yankees cap. Alex, what's up, bro? You good, dude?
How we doing, guys? I'm doing great. This isn't exactly a great time in the sports calendar if you're a New York sports fan when, there's no baseball. New York football is terrible. The Rangers suck. And I'm relying on the Knicks. So, yeah, it's not a great place to be, but I'm doing good.
Nice. I love it. Yeah, I forgot about the Rangers, to be honest with you. So.
I don't know what happened to them this year. I think we actually spoke about it earlier for a minute, Alex. What happened? I know we're talking football, but
you want the 30-second? You want the 30 seconds?
Because I thought they were going to be something this year, like they were last year.
Last year, that was their chance. It's like, all right, the stars are aligning. This is it, and it wasn't good enough. They got to the conference finals. You hit your ceiling, sucks. Front office wanted to shake it up, which they probably had the right to do. They went about it in the wrong way. They didn't tell any of the veterans that they wanted to shake it up. They just started floating names out there. All the veterans here, wait a minute, we've been here for forever. Now this is how you're going to treat us? The team has essentially quit on the front office. Not the coach, not Like they have, and they're starting to play a little bit better recently, but it's basically created a mutiny between the front office and the players. The coach hasn't been able to keep the team together, and the whole thing is a mess because all these guys have been there for forever. They feel disrespected, and I think the GM went about it in the wrong way. I think the players are soft. I don't think the coach has a strong enough voice to keep it together. So, I agreed with how the front office, what they wanted to do, but they went about it just in the worst possible way. It's
really,
the boss that you don't want to have.
It's kind of like you'd see like a Midwest low market team do something like it's like a move like that. You don't see like, like a one of the traditional teams. Like you expect them to handle these types of things right. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it was,
and their GM is a former player. He used to be the captain of the Rangers. Like he should get it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen,
anyways, let's talk ball.
yeah. Speaking of getting it, what are the Giants going to do to get in to the postseason in years to come? Now, we just had a quick conversation about coaches on the hot seat, coaches that have been fired, vacancies and whatnot. But what about your Giants? Talk to me about your New York Football Giants. What will they be able to do to get back into the postseason, if anything?
First of all, with that question, not to sound like Dick Vermeil here, but playoffs? We're talking about playoffs? Man, this team just won 3 games. Like, let's back up for a second.
You're right.
I just want to see something borderline incompetent every single week.
Wait, that was Jim Mora. That's Jim Mora. Alex.
Jim Mora, not Dick Vermeil. Excuse me. Thank you.
Good impression.
Respectfully.
Respectfully. A couple things. One is I actually, in a weird way, agreed with not firing Dable because this guy has gotten dealt a terrible hand, and he definitely has something to do with that, considering he definitely gave his stamp of approval to Joe Shane to re-sign Daniel Jones. And I think what ultimately kind of haunted this franchise was winning in 2022 because all of a sudden it wasn't gold, it was fool's gold. Joe Shane has done a really bad job. Like I did a breakdown recently on my page. He's had 3 drafts. The first draft in 2022 was okay. The draft in 2023 was horrible. And the draft last year was great, although just about any of us could have went up there and said, I want to take Malik Neighbors in the first round. You don't get credit for taking Malik Neighbors. With that being said, I really want to see Dable with a quarterback. Like he's had no one the past 2 years, so it's really unfair to judge him. What I'm worried about is the team mortgaging the future because Joe Shane and Brian Dable know the pressure is on. If you look at Dave Gettleman in kind of his make or break year, he spent like crazy. And then Joe Shane had to dig the franchise out of salary cap hell that he put them under. Dave Gettleman had to do that with Jerry Reese's last year as GM. So it's not a great position to be in. Here's what I'm worried about. If they draft a quarterback this year, if you're drafting a quarterback in the first round,
is he there
early,
though? But is he there for you guys?
So what I'm scared of is they draft a quarterback, then this time next year they decide, hey, Shane and Dable are not the guys. Then they fire them and then the new GM and coach say, we want our quarterback in. And now here we go again. That's what I'm worried is happening. So I wonder, now that the Giants fell out of the top 2 picks and everyone's assuming that it'll be Sanders and Ward in some order, and now you're not looking at a QB at 3. Now I'm talking myself into a bridge quarterback for 1 year, kick the can down the road for 1 year to see, okay, Dable, you're going to get a quarterback of your choosing. It's just not going to be a franchise quarterback of your choosing. See what you can do for 1 year. The quarterback class next year is going to be stronger, and then you can make a decision so you have cohesion with the coach, quarterback, and GM. But beating Indy was catastrophic, honestly. Like it was. It's loser talk, but it was. And
you pulled the Jets move. You pulled the Jets move.
Yeah.
You jetted that
There's
game
not
out.
A great way to navigate this now.
Yeah, that's
I got a good bridge quarterback for you though.
You're about to throw out a terrible name. Let me hear.
Aaron Rodgers. He has 500 touchdowns.
No.
Why would Aaron Rodgers want to go to the pile of shit that is my team? Aaron Rodgers wants to go to like the Niners, the Steelers.
Listen, it's not Aaron Rodgers. It's gonna be it's gonna be based off what the Vikings do. They're either gonna get the rookie quarterback that the Vikings had, who Sam Darnold has beaten, or it's gonna be
McCarthy.
Sam Darnold. Yeah, McCarthy. Or it's
It can't be Darnold.
I don't think Darnold's coming back to New York. I think he's staying in Minnesota. I think they got.
Nope.
I think they have a
Money
good setup.
You don't think he would be a
And
Giant?
McCarthy,
He's
they're going to sell
he's
McCarthy
gonna get-
so low.
He's
They're
going
going
to
to sell
get
McCarthy so
$30
low.
million for a season. New York, he will absolutely go to be on the Giants.
If he
To have
signs a
his own
1 year
team?
deal, it'll be in Minnesota. It won't be
No,
outside.
I don't think
Minnesota.
it would be a 1 year deal. It will be that, but he's going to get $30 million for that first season. It's like the same thing Kirk Cousins. It's like, yeah, $100 million. Yeah, sure, buddy. We're giving you this, and now you're already out, right? And then
Caleb, you just said an interesting name.
The real Kirk
Kirk
Cousins.
I mean,
Of course, I don't want Kirk Cousins, but
Kirk Cousins
of course I
is
don't want
another
Kirk
one.
Cousins.
Well,
He's another one that's
but
like
Atlanta
available.
needs to get out of that contract. Hey, Atlanta, give us some picks. We'll take Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins for 1 year, 2 years after an Achilles.
Yep.
We're not going anywhere anyways. He's competent. I would take him for 1 year to just bridge it and get resources and draft picks back from Atlanta. I would do that for a year.
Can I throw out a name that doesn't have to be bridge
Sure.
quarterback, but it's already established in the league to an extent? What about Justin Fields? Dable shown.
You
Oh,
said
no.
established.
All right. I mean, he's been in the league.
He just got
We've
traded
seen-
for a 6th-round draft pick and then
But
couldn't
we've
beat
seen-
out
but
Russell
we've
Wilson.
Yes.
But we,
And
you know what?
Russell Wilson isn't playing well.
But all the credit that we give Dable is what? He took a mobile quarterback that wasn't accurate and he made him accurate in Josh
Mm-hmm.
Allen. That's the big sell on Dable, right? That's always been the big sell on Dable is what he
Right.
did with Josh Allen. He's kind of getting the same project with Fields, only he's even better of a running quarterback, of a mobile quarterback. I think if he is what he was in Buffalo, if he is what everyone says he is, I think the Fields thing would work.
I think there's a big disconnect between fans' perception of Justin Fields and
Mhm.
the NFL's perception of Justin Fields. And
Yeah.
I really don't know why. I like to think I'm a football guy. We're all football guys. There's clearly something, Pittsburgh could have used him this year. Mike
Mhm.
Tomlin is a great coach.
Mhm.
They only got him for a 6th-round pick. He lost his job to Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson hasn't been playing good ball, and Fields is still not the quarterback. If you're Brian Dable, you don't want a project. You need to win some games here. Like you're going to be gone by the time. If you can develop Justin Fields, by the time you develop him, you might be gone.
He will be gone. And since we're talking about New York, I like to quote the most famous New York rapper. His name is Sean Carter. Some people call him Jay-Z. He has a line where he says, I heard motherfuckers saying they made Hov say, okay, so make another Hov. So Dable made Josh Allen. Yeah, right.
So we
We're gonna
parted
see.
ways like
Do-
yeah.
Do it again.
J-Lo?
Do it again. Do it again. Take one
That's
of those
what I'm
quarterbacks
saying.
and do it again. If this true, because I don't. I think Josh Allen is a generational talent at that position, and we're lucky. Oh, without question, and we're lucky to be in this age where we get three like a Burrow, Mahomes, and Allen, and a Lamar Jackson all playing at the same time, like dudes that are at that level. But anyway, I digress. I think Dable he's going to have to do something if he doesn't get that already established quarterback, like you mentioned, with a Kirk Cousins or a Darnold. And I hear the whole thing, Darnold's already been in New York, but it's different. Money talks. He's a different dude now. He's going to command top dollars because of the season he put up. Like, that's just how it is. So I think Dable has to prove that he could do it again. But I do agree with you, Alex. He will be out. But by the time he does it, he won't be there.
Yeah,
Another
definitely.
coach will come in and benefit from it. You know what I mean?
Caleb, I think Sam Darnold in free agency is going to be treated like Saquon Barkley. And what I mean by that is Sam Darnold is your last piece. Sam Darnold, if Sam Darnold was on the Giants, Sam Darnold would have had a bad year. Let's be honest.
I know.
Here.
Right.
Sam Darnold
Especially with that line.
is on a nice
Everybody
Minnesota
would
offense with a nice offensive line. He's got Addison on one side, Jefferson on the other side,
Good
Hawkinson
coaching.
on the line, Aaron Jones in the back, and a top 5 coach in the league. That's not the Giants. The Giants know better than to put Sam Darnold can't mask your issues. Like, he's not that kind of quarterback.
Mm.
No, that's
Fair.
true. That is very true. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. But I just know on the market, if the Vikings let Darnold go, he's going to be commanding top. It's insane the money that he's going to get because of.
If the
what he
Giants
did
got
this
him, it
season.
would be putting lipstick on a pig. That's what it would be.
Yeah.
That's
And
what it would be doing.
we've all seen that before. It don't
I've
And
been there.
honestly,
Yeah,
to be
it doesn't.
honest, I think a lot of teams do that. I think Dallas did that. Like Dak is normal, but he gets paid like he's Josh Allen or Mahomes.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? He makes
Right.
more money than both of them. And
True.
Joe Burrow. You know what I'm saying? So I think the market just changes everything. It, like Charles Barkley says, you got plumbers making big money now in the NBA. He called them plumbers, like how bad they are, but the money they command.
I got
from
news
the
here.
market.
Actual plumbers make pretty good money.
Not
Chase, man.
35 million a season.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess.
The seventh guy on the bench in the NBA makes the same amount as Connor McDavid in the NHL.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's a wild.
And Connor
And all he
McDavid
does-
is like
and all he does is
the
Getting
clap.
paid $12 million a year. Connor McDavid's better at his sport than anyone else is at their sport.
Yep.
Crazy.
Yep. Yeah, but that's
Well, I'm
it's
glad,
just the market.
I'm glad we're keeping it in New York, talking about plumbers. Shout out to Super Mario Bro. But listen, I know Alex.
I
we
just
don't.
want to say one thing. We have a ton of people on X and Twitter. Come over to we always have them more over there. Come over to YouTube, guys, and come join the chat with Alex. I know we've got a ton of people over on Twitter right now. Come over to the other side to YouTube. And hang out over here with us so we can actually talk to you guys. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, man, join the chat. Absolutely. Make sure to like, subscribe, do all the things,
All the
share,
things.
do all the things. Alex, I know we don't have you for a lot of time, my man, so we're going to jump over to the MLB very, very quickly. RIP to your New York Yankees, who lost to the LA Dodgers in the World Series, which
I know what you're talking about.
is a pretty wild World Series at that. But what is next for the Yankees? I guess, like, what are your thoughts on making more moves now, especially with the big trade that they had with the Mets more than 3 months ago? So what are you thinking for the Yankees going forward?
I think overall, if you were to just judge the Yankees offseason on Soto leaving, I think Brian Cashman's actually had a good offseason. I'm not going to say great because you can't just look at the players that they got. Like for instance, I love Max Fried. Giving Max Fried 8 years is diabolical. That's crazy. But it's a great player. You get his number down to because you want to stay under the salary cap of the luxury tax, $300 million. I get it. But you could have found some middle ground there. Paul Goldschmidt, great deal. A little bit of a risky player. I actually think he'll be pretty good. But I think Brian Cashman's done well. What I look at now for the Yankees is they need one more bat. And I'm not sure they're going to get it. But I think that either has to be a third baseman or second baseman. Whichever one you don't get, Jazz Chisholm plays the other. And from there, your lineup is looking pretty good. You know, I personally felt that if they kept the same lineup as last year with Soto and Glaber, they still needed another bat.
Mm-hmm.
Now you lose Soto and Glaber. You replace them with Bellinger and Paul Goldschmidt. That's not enough. It's not going to cut it. So you need one more bat. Unfortunately, there aren't many great options out there. I think the next domino to fall is Yankees getting off the books with Marcus Stroman's contract. He's getting paid $18 million. I like Stroh. Stroh's a fine middle-of-the-rotation arm. The rotation's set, and he's not part of it. I think if Stroman was a free agent right now, he would actually probably get around like $15 million. So they should be able to get off the books with that contract from there. That should give them enough room and space to get a third baseman, to get a second baseman. And before you ask me, no, I do not want Alex Bregman.
I don't either. At first, besides the fact that I don't love him because of
We got to have morals around here. We got to have
that's number one. Number two, his bat does not play for left field in it's a big left field, and that's where he pulls a lot.
That's his worst stadium.
And that's what I'm saying. He's not built for Yankee Stadium. So I don't. If he was coming, it would be a horrific signing, and people already hate him. It would be a nightmare.
He would either get overpaid, or if it was market value, he'd be back in Houston.
Exactly. So my question is, what do you give him grade-wise? Give him a letter grade for Cashman. What do you give him the letter grade for the offseason that he had?
I'm gonna give him a hesitant B or a B minus.
Okay.
I'm actually not gonna ding him at all for Soto. You offer this guy $750 million. Like, what else are you gonna do? Like,
I mean, you could have kicked in a suite.
No.
I wouldn't have either. I wouldn't have either. The Yankees have certain things: no beards, no suites. Listen, 100% agree
Caleb's
with you.
face, Caleb.
Here's my look at it. All right, we're not the team we were last year in the batter's box, right? Granted, I'll give that. Soto was a phenomenal hitter. We're better defensively this year. We're already better defensively. We're
People
already
are
better
playing
on
their
the base
positions.
paths.
Yeah.
We're already better on the base paths. Those two things are such a huge thing that we need. We're better at pitching. We have better starting pitching. We have better relief pitching.
Yep.
So I think the Fernando Cruz move is going to be one of those things that people are like, oh, I don't think people realize how good Fernando Cruz really could be in Yankee Stadium. So I'm excited about that. And I think it's one of those under the radar kind of moves that he made. The only thing we now need to do is what you said. We need to add one more bat. It doesn't need to be a guy that's going to hit 40 bombs, but we need to add one more bat. And I know there's a lot of talk about Arias coming here, and that looks like it's a dead deal. He would have lessened the defense a little bit, lessened the base pass a little bit, but could you imagine that bat in front of Judge's bat? I mean, every time that he hit a home run, it would be a 2-run shot almost every time. Because the guy never strikes out. He puts it in play every time. I think he went like 3 months without a strikeout last year. There's certain things that I would have gave up on defense for, and I think he would have been a guy that I would have been okay giving up some of the stuff that we made up on defense with.
I don't know if you can have a guy like that be a DH, and that's what he was for the Padres. Like, he's a second baseman who's a DH.
No, I get it, but
this is a guy who has like a Tony Gwynn level bat,
yeah,
and is about to be on his 4th team in 4 years.
There's a reason why.
There's a reason why, but I'm worried because the Yankees don't have a leadoff hitter right now. They just they do not. You
Volpe,
even said
maybe?
they don't need a guy who hits 40 home runs. They might need a guy who hits 40 home runs. Where's their pop coming from other than Judge?
Hey, Cassie.
You're putting,
No, I just said hello to somebody.
Oh, hi, Cassie. You're putting a lot of stake in a 37-year-old Paul Goldschmidt, a Stanton who, you know what you're getting, but you're also probably only getting it for 100 games. Bellinger, there's a lot of ifs. I actually think the X factor for the Yankees this year is going to be the Martian. They need him. They need Dominguez to be what they've always projected him to be. He's a switch hitter. If he could play average outfield, like he is a guy who could be a difference maker. If he is what fans and the organization thinks he can be, he changes everything.
Yeah. 100%.
I don't know who they get now, though. I know what they need. I don't know who it's going to be. And part of me wonders, do you just put Jazz at second base, and then you have an open competition third base between LeMahieu, who you're already paying. You got to see what you're paying him. Might as well you see what you have. Oswaldo Cabrera and Oswald Peraza. None of those really. I wouldn't bring any of those home to mom, but
She might have some questions if you brought 3 guys home, but
she might have some questions, more than one.
And before we go off the rails, I want to thank you, Alex, for showing up today, man. I know you didn't have a lot of time, so thank you so much for being with us. I have one last question for you very quickly. Listen, man, every single team except for the Athletics, who now are homeless, have a City Connect.
Maybe they can clean up those leaves.
What is up with your...
Don't be like that.
What is up with your New York Yankees? Rules are rules, tradition is tradition, but baby, let's get that City Connect up in there. Am I wrong?
I'm going to meet you halfway.
Okay.
They should not have a City Connect. This is the Yankee. Like, come on. But I would not mind if they have an alternate road jersey of the blue 90s batting practice jerseys.
Wait.
Right. Yes. Wait. Yes. I know what you're talking
Hear me
about.
out. Hear me out.
Am I having a stroke?
Yes, you are. Continue, Alex.
Ready? There's nothing cute about those because this is what they've done in the past. When you talk about the Yankees traditions, especially with uniforms, it's so much tied to the pinstripes. The Yankee grays do not carry the same weight as the Yankee pinstripes. I think and I would actually not do it the same weekend as everyone's doing City Connect jerseys because you got to show that you're different than everyone else. So everyone's doing City Connect. Screw that. We're not doing that. But I do. If you do 2 series a year, you go to Yankee Stadium, you see I know I have 2 of those. I have a Jeter and a Bernie. The blue 90s pinstripe, the blue 90s batting practice jerseys. This is something that's already been part of their history. You wear them for what? two road series a season. You know,
Alex,
this is about
you know
Yankees
you're saying
love
is
making
blasphemous,
money.
right? It's blasphemous.
I'm trying to meet him halfway here.
Yeah, Gene. I asked Alex. I didn't ask you.
No stranger. I want to give me the pinstripes and the gray, and that
Do you
is
care about
it.
the Grays that much?
I don't even like it when they used to do the American flag and the Y on the NY on the cap. That would even
with
drive
you.
me crazy.
Yeah,
Agreed.
that was corny. That was corny. But
I
that
love
was,
the
but that
one
was
thing
more
they
of
had.
a.
That's the one thing I can't stand about the NBA. Every team has 17 jerseys.
Well, this is my
Oh,
point.
it's terrible.
How you the Knicks,
And they'll wear them in like the finals. They'll wear them in the playoffs.
Yeah. And not even that. Not only do they have
Yeah,
17 different jerseys,
See-
every single one is a different color combination.
But hold on. See, this is the problem.
Yeah.
See that traditional shit. That's why baseball is dropping in
Possibly,
ratings.
but that's what I love.
And kids don't like it, and it's boring because it's whack. You got to
More
add
for me.
spice and
More
flavor
baseball
to
for
it.
me.
Caleb.
Like no,
one,
seriously.
no one wants to see the Lakers wear green jerseys.
No, nobody wants to.
That's very true.
But no, they don't. But what they do like is the difference of the court during the NBA Cup. Like it's just something that changes it. It's like
No,
you got to
that
add
court's
things.
ugly and you can't see the ball.
Yeah, am I
You
thinking
have to make.
I think it's
you
because
have
we're
to
white,
make-
Alex. I think it's because we're
No,
white.
no.
We just,
You have to
we're not-
give-
No,
we're
it's
funky
a
moves.
Yankees
Tradition
thing. I'm cool with
is
City
good.
Connect
Yeah.
for all
Tradition
you guys.
is cool, but you got to do something to get the thing. Baseball used to be king. It's not anymore, right? It's like you guys were talking about the Yankees for 30 minutes, and the Knicks are playing, and are
And Caleb fell
ridiculously
asleep.
good. No. There's nothing wrong with it. What I'm saying is the Knicks are New York too, and you didn't even mention them. You know
Caleb,
what I mean? Like
Caleb, I know
think-
I'm about to open up a can of worms here right before like we're wrapping up. I don't know how you could like grade social media traction.
Mhm.
Who had a better 2024? The NBA
without question.
or the MLB?
You know what? Well, I would say, of course, technically.
And you know
you
I'm a huge Knicks fan too.
Oh, see, I didn't know that because you didn't even mention them because they doing.
Yeah,
good
we
right
haven't got
now.
no. Like I watch every Knicks game. I'm Yankees,
Yeah,
Giants.
we
Rangers,
agree on
Knicks.
every team except the Giants.
Yeah,
Yuck.
I'm a huge. I'll say this. I'll watch any football game. You could put a pile of crap in front of me. I will watch that football game on a Tuesday night playing in China. Like I will watch that football game. I only watch for regular season basketball. I watch the Knicks unless it's like a marquee matchup, and then I'll watch the playoffs. And it's the same thing with baseball. I won't watch a regular season baseball game that's not the Yankees, but like I'm a game watcher. So let me. Who had a better 2024? The MLB or the NBA?
I would probably say the MLB than the NBA. The NBA sucks right now because I hate the rules. But I was just giving the Knicks their props. I'm like, y'all New Yorkers ain't talking about the team that's actually doing well right now. The Lakers are garbage. We don't talk about them. I don't like who they have on the team anyway. No, I'm Jordan all day.
No,
LeBron.
MLB had a great year in terms of attendance. The game times are under 240. That's
So
like the
good.
same
Thank God.
as.
So good.
Oh, of course. And by the way, all they did was trim the fat. That's all they
Right.
All they did was trim the fat. And I don't think this is crazy, but if you were to take LeBron and Steph out of it, I don't think the NBA even has crazy star power right now either.
That's the debate.
It's coming back. You saw what Anthony Edwards just did last night?
Yeah, but
He's in Minnesota.
He's in Minnesota. If
And
he's on New York,
He'll be in Nick in a couple years.
And
You're
also
right.
look how much time it's taken for him to kind of get back, like posterizing. You know what I mean? Like it's been
He's
almost
22
half the
years
season.
old. What do you want to do? He got
No,
8
no,
kids,
no.
and
We're
he's
talking
22.
No, Caleb. No. We're talking immediately, like right now, from last year to this year is what we're talking about, right?
I'm just teasing. I'm like, he got 8 kids and he's 22. He's busy. He's doing a whole lot of things. Okay, but what I was gonna say, Alex,
He's on the Tyreek workout plan.
Yeah.
Mercy. I don't get it. These kids they got energy. I was gonna say, what you think about that golden bat thing?
Well, thank God that's not happening. Oh.
Hey, that's crazy.
Yeah, I was like, this is ridiculous. But that
If they even did the
how
golden
they're
bat, they
trying.
could change the Yankee jerseys to the lime green for like here at that point. I'd be
But
out.
but it shows the MLB's desire to try to do something to spice it up. That was the, you know what I mean? Like to add.
You know who it is
something.
actually? Because it's not Rob Manfred. It's Theo Epstein.
Mm.
One of the romantic things about baseball is that they stay traditional, that they don't cower to like doing all these weird things and changing up the all-star games to make them pick up games. That's the one thing that I love about.
That's the worst thing.
But that's not baseball.
It's the
but
one
yeah.
thing that I love
have an
about
all-star
baseball.
game. I have an NBA all-star game fixed once you're done, G.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I fixed the all-star game.
Let's hear it right now.
Okay. There's no amount of money you could pay these guys that will make them care. If you make an all-star team, that's because you're getting paid $30 million, $40 million a year. What if you lose the all-star game, you have to pay $500,000.
Right.
Let me tell you something. It would never make it through the bargaining agreement.
They wouldn't care about making money. They care about losing money, though.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
I love that idea.
Don't take my money.
Once you do that,
We should get a petition going for that one, Alex.
I know.
Once
They'll
you
never
make the
pass
stakes
that.
that high, that's astronomically high to them. It feels like it's not, because you're like, oh yeah, what's X amount of dollars to me? But it's like, no. At the end of the day, if you're losing a game that you love and you're passionate about and that you know you're kick ass at and you're the best at, and all of a sudden the rules now change for one game, hey, guess
Goes
what?
to
That $5 million
charity.
you make, yeah, that $5 million you make is
Yep.
gone, and you're just like,
Goes to the Boys and Girls Club.
I love it. And that's the way you do it too. You say, well, that's how you propose it to the players too. Be like, but it's going to go to charity. You don't want to give to charity?
yeah.
They're like, hell no.
One game check.
Yeah, and exactly. But here's the thing, Alex, which I really
Less?
love about that idea is that it's from the players specifically. It's not like if the East wins, a charity money goes from not even the East, just from the MLB to this charity. It's like no. It comes out of your pocket, out of your paycheck specifically to that charity. That's what.
You hate the kids? You hate the kids?
Yeah, but now
I
you're gonna
think
start
that's
seeing
it.
load management
That's
in the
not-
All-Star game. People about to start spraining their ankles; they can't play.
I bet you. I would love to see the All Stars this year. I bet the lowest contract of all the All Stars this year is $35 million a year.
Yeah.
Probably. I think the NBA just needs to allow defense to come back. It was just
like
the
90s
game.
Knicks.
The game.
If you let hand checking,
yeah,
I'm with you.
like it changes. It will create more competition. The problem is, yes, the players are more skilled today, but they have nothing that they're up against. It's like you just come down and shoot. You can't really defend because you'll get a foul. So it's like if you create more opposition, it will increase the competition. Like, because now you want to show, like now Steph just can't come and walk to his position. You push his hip and knock him off. Now it's like, like it forces them to go. It's what humans need. It's like if you're lifting weights, if it's just nothing, you're not going to gain muscle. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's a thing. So I think that's the issue with the NBA. The defense has to come back. Once you allow that, it's like taking, you can't throw a fastball in baseball. It's like, what? No more change-ups. No more change-ups. Like that would just, it's like you're handicapping the game. And I think that's what's happening with the NBA in the pursuit to create more offense, because people think that's what they want, but they don't. They want to see
they want it in
game.
football.
Yeah.
They want it in baseball.
God. Right. Well, definitely in baseball and in football. Yeah. You know what I mean? To a degree, I think they need to start sewing these flags in the referee's pants at halftime, because I swear to goodness, it is a flag every single play. It's like, stop it.
Yeah.
But
You know what I
to
mean?
that point, the last 3 minutes of an NBA game, how often do you see 3 straight possessions with no whistle?
Oh my
And
goodness.
if you allowed hand checking, there's going to be less threes. You could just it brings back the physical guards more. I just think if the NBA went back to a pre-James Harden type of NBA, where it's the pump fake, it's the bringing the ball up like that to hit the
You know what I want to? I want my team. I want my team to hate the rival teams that I hate as much as me. Like I want the New York Knicks players to hate the Boston Celtics players as much as I hate them. And we don't,
but the NBA has never been that. The NBA is like player
there was a
rivalry.
time where they did,
No.
those 90s
In the
Knicks,
in the
man.
90s, early
90s,
2000s,
they weren't
Like
they
Knicks
weren't-
Heat
they
was
weren't
like
friends.
that
No,
was
for
on
sure. But that's because those two teams were good at the same time. Like
Yeah, that's
the
what I'm
Yankees
saying.
and Red Sox. Yankees and Red Sox are always rivals. The Eagles and Giants. But like, I'm 30. In my lifetime, the Knicks haven't had a real rival. Like,
It's true.
think about
Yeah, true.
the Cavs and Warriors were appointment television every single time for 10 years.
Yeah.
Who cares about the Cavs and
But in
the
the
Warriors?
90s, it was Knicks Bulls. In the 90s, man, those Knicks Bulls games.
Of course, but
Every
Yeah,
Christmas
Bulls,
game.
and then 80s
but it's
Bulls
like
Detroit.
an
but yeah.
eclipse. It's like it's if two teams are good
I
at the
get you.
same time and they pass
Yeah.
each other. Like, I don't even Celtics Lakers, like, that was a rivalry because of Bird and Magic. Like,
Mhm.
Mhm.
I don't
Now-
know.
And
Now-
the ownerships also.
and the
play
owner
into that.
of Arbot, but
Yeah.
there aren't that many geographic. Maybe, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I agree
now
with
that,
you, Gene, but
that Lakers Celtic rivalry is all kind of for show now. It's just because of the tradition.
names,
It's just like
yeah.
the names
It-
that it's plastered on there as like a marquee watch. But at the end of the day, it's not as great as it
Once
used
you-
to be.
They just don't care because they make too much money. So and it's this new generation. You know what I mean? Like, you forget these guys are in their 20s. Like, LeBron is 40. I'm 5 years older than LeBron. Like, you know what I mean? Like these guys are young. And so the generation is different. They want to be friends. They're like each other's godfathers and shit. Like, their kids hang. It's like it's hard to be
in football, they're
competitive.
not like that.
Yeah, no.
No,
That's true.
Not in football. I'm talking about NBA specifically.
I know,
Like,
but
it's
they're also getting
very-
paid the same FU money, you know.
Yeah.
But NBA gets paid way more than everybody. Like
Right.
over the top.
Right,
like,
right.
Well, except baseball, unless you're, the two guys we all know, Ohtani
Right,
and Homeboy.
Right,
But for the
the
most
1% of the NFL.
Yeah,
and the
but the
MLB. Yeah,
NBA,
yeah.
it's like they're all making crazy money. You know what I mean? So the competition is lower. They're more friendly because they're happy. Their lives are good. You know what I mean? Like, they're not thinking,
Yep.
So anyway, that's what I think. But it's interesting, man. I just wish more competition in sports. Allow a little bit more defense in football, because you're starting to get it to where now it's like, come on now, anything you do. You know what I mean? Is that hit too much? It'll look like it hurt. Flag. What? you know what I mean? It's like, it's bad. So I just, and I don't want people to get hurt, but I do think, you gotta allow something.
Yeah,
Well,
nice.
I got a question for you. When are you going to come down to Orlando? We can go to an Orlando Magic game, and we can ride Space Mountain together, and I can buy you a Coke. Come on down, bro. I moved down from New York last year, and I'm loving it.
Look. You're not supposed to be happy all the time. That, like, New Yorkers aren't happy all the time. Like, it is 25
Especially with the
degrees
congestion
outside.
pricing now.
You leave the city, it's $9. Like, it's 25 degrees. I haven't even been outside. It's 1 o'clock. I haven't left my apartment today. Like, New Yorkers, you aren't supposed to be happy all the time. You're in Florida, you get a little complacent. You're too happy all the time.
Yeah.
Like, it's Disney World. It's all flowers and roses down there. Like, we need to get you back up here. Get more toughness. I'm looking at this beard. You got the shape up. You got the clean
I just got
taper
it today.
fade here. Like,
the only time I've been mad since I've been down here is when I watched. Oh God, I still can't even say it. Nestor Cortez entered the game in Game 1.
Look at him. Gene
should have been Tim Hill. Should have been Tim Hill.
It should have been Tim Hill.
He got the.
I got
Gene
one more
the
question.
Travis Kelce. He got the Travis Kelce when he was with the black girl. Look at him.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I got one more question.
Yeah. Gene looks like Travis Kelce was the black girl. I look like Travis Kelce.
I'm chubby Travis. I'm chubby Travis. I just gotta get in better shape. So one last question for me is who really fixed the game between Kentucky and Miami of Ohio?
Oh, Action Bronson.
There we go. Love it.
Check the bio.
Listen, Alex, thank you so much, man, for spending time. I know you went over what you allotted us, but we appreciate that, man. You are the absolute best. Keep putting out that content, and y'all listen, man. You gotta follow my guy, Alex Day. That's DAY7 on IG. He's got an amazing bunch of feed there, so you can check him out, see what he's doing. What do you got coming up next? I know it's a very cliche question, but what do you got in the cooker?
Yeah, this is the time in the sports calendar where there's a lot of those kind of like marquee events. So I'm going to be covering a lot for Super Bowl week down in New Orleans. That's coming up. And then possibly some NBA All-Star stuff. And then we're into baseball season. So going to be doing some stuff with the Yes Network as well. So if you're a baseball fan, basketball, football, hockey, I really cover all four sports and interview athletes in all four sports. And it's not just New York sports. So can go over there and fun time of year.
Amazing.
Awesome.
Well, I can't wait to see the Toronto Blue Jays content. So whenever you're ready, let me know. And,
There you go. There
You'll see
you
the
go.
Vladdy Guerrero content next year when he's a Yankee. How about that?
yeah, probably. I don't doubt it. I mean,
He won't be a Blue Jay, but he won't be a Yankee.
yeah.
Since Buffalo is technically in New York, does New Yorkers root for the Bills when they play? Since the Giants are nowhere close to it. Look at Gene. Hell no.
Yes, because of Josh Allen. No, because of New York.
Yeah.
Like they're Buffalo. They're not New York. They're Buffalo.
Yeah.
But I'm rooting for them because I actually really like Josh Allen, and
See,
like
me too.
I think he deserves it, and I've gotten a chance to interview him. He was the man. Like,
You have a bunch of
Made me
clips
a
with
fan.
Josh Allen. You have a lot of good content with Josh Allen.
I love
thank you,
Josh.
thank you.
I'm not gonna lie, I cringed a little bit just because it's Josh Allen and I'm not a fan.
You're a Jets
He's
fan.
He's my favorite quarterback, right? That's my guy. I think he's man.
Fun to watch. He's fun
Yes,
to watch.
he is.
I appreciate you
hanging out
guys
with him. I
having me
said,
on.
no, Alex,
Of
no.
course. Of course, man. Anytime, my guy. Anytime. Good luck with everything. And keep in
Thank you.
touch, dude. Appreciate you, man.
Always.
Later,
Always.
bro.
Appreciate you guys.
All right.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Have a good one.
Take care.
Hey guys, listen, that was super fun. We're gonna keep the thing moving. So that was Alex Day. Make sure you look at his content. The guy is phenomenal. He's got a real gift of gab and he knows a lot. Very knowledgeable. Not only, like you said at the end there, not only about New York sports, but sports in general. So make sure you look at his find out his socials. Follow that, my guy. Follow that guy. And also, don't forget to keep following us and sharing and spreading the love and jumping into YouTube. As Gene said earlier, jump onto YouTube so we can keep this conversation rolling because we definitely go off the beaten path depending on what we have here in the comments. So don't forget to throw some comments in there, throw some likes up in there, and we are all good. Let's keep it moving for another couple minutes because we got a couple other I don't even know what's happening to me right now. We have a couple other topics, yes, to talk about. Maybe I just need to talk slower, but I don't know. I want to jump back into the NFL because I want to talk about the man, the myth, the legend, Tyreek Hill and his quote unquote exit interview, like in all meanings of the sense. Caleb, we'll go to you first because the way that you're nodding your head, it's like you're listening to your favorite 90s rap album. So I can't wait to hear your comments about
Iron
this.
Man, Ghostface Killer. Anyway,
There it is.
go ahead.
Yeah, there it is. I know where you're at.
That was my album.
I want to say one thing about this. I'm going to start, and then Caleb, you take it off. But the fact that my man used an Antonio Brown image and put his head on it for his Twitter/X account, that's when the buck stopped here for me. I was like, oh, well, you done it. You did now, because we all know all the Antonio Brown stuff that I have, collecting all of the dust in my closet, my figures. I don't know what to do. Please, Caleb, indulge us. Enlighten us.
I just think Tyreek, like, it's, first of all, you don't want to do that because it shows character. It shows a very big lack of character on him, right? And the lack of accountability. You left the Chiefs for $5 million extra dollars. And I understand as a football player, you got to do it, but it's $5 million, right? And you left Patrick Mahomes, who I affectionately call GOAT Mahomes, for Tua, who is not whack, but even at the time was injury prone. And the coach who was there before him, that was there before, wanted to get rid of Tua, right? Brian Flores, who's now in Minnesota. He wanted to get rid of Tua. That was the problem. So they got rid of him. You go down there and your first practice, you on ESPN talk about, oh, he more accurate than Patrick Mahomes. Oh, you talking all that mess. And now your ass talk about, man, I'm out. It's like, no, stay your ass right there. Stay your ass right there. That's what you wanted. You lay in your bed, you lay in it.
It's through
That's
the
what you
teeth for me.
get.
Stay your
That's right there.
God
Like, you
damn.
don't get to do that. You wanted the money, you take the money, you get it. But you got to take what comes with it. See, that's the accountability thing. People always everybody want to go to heaven, nobody want to die. It's like, no. You got to go through that. You got to go through it. And now it shows just the weakness of character, because now who would want you on their team? You left Patrick because you wanted money. So that shows a weakness of character. But it's like a little bit like, damn, it's all about the money. Okay, cool. You're not betting on yourself knowing you're going to get more money. He would have 3 rings right now. You know how much money he'd be making?
Yeah.
He'd be in all those State Farm commercials with Patrick and Travis Swift. He would be in all of them. He would be running through and they would be talking about they need to insure the cheetah and all of this stuff. He'd be making more money than what he thought, but he didn't want to do it. He wanted to take it up front. And he did, exactly. Sacrificing the future for the present. And that's what you get. So now you have to take it. And I think he should take it and enjoy it. And now he should be stuck. Because as a teammate, you want him on your team because of his skill, but you don't trust him. Because as soon as it goes wrong, he want to be out. It's like, no, right? So that's my thing with it. I just feel it's a weakness of character. It just showed a little bit of who he is as a person, which is a little bit like, dude, you whack. You one of them.
Facts. Gene.
Well, first of all, the Chiefs proved that they could win with a wide receiver room of a bunch of bumbling idiots, right? Like that drop the ball 50% of the time. So they've already proven we don't need a cheetah to win games. That's last year they had the most drops in the league, won a title. I'm not sure where they are with that stat this year, but they've had their issues this year. They've had a lot of injuries in the wide receiver room as well. And here they are with just, on the cusp of hopefully, not for me, but hopefully for them winning another. You left Kansas City for the money. There's no questioning that. So you left titles on the table for money, which is fine. Like we said, short-sighted, but in football, if there's a sport to be short-sighted, it's probably football because the risk of injury is so much greater, right? So,
right.
So I get it to an extent, but you can't then now come back a few years later and whine how this is the right situation for you because you want to win now. You don't get to come back and kind of like re-narrate the past. Now, I also think, so we'll have to look this up. It's too bad we don't have Patty Puddles because he used to be good at doing this stuff for us. I believe he's only got 1 year left that's guaranteed. I believe the second year is non-guaranteed. So this really, in all reality, might be a ploy for an extension and more money.
He don't have no more guaranteed money. There is no more guaranteed.
So then there you go. If that's the case, I think this is all for, hey, I'm out. They're gonna, but he's going to Dolphin management saying, listen, I'm out unless you pay me. He's not going to say that to us because that's, but would anybody be surprised if the Dolphins come up with a 3 or 4 year extension and he doesn't sign it if the money's right?
Oh, no.
He'll gladly be in Miami. You can give him, who's the other guy? Skylar Thompson? That's fine. I'll get my catches. I'll get my yards. And away we go. I got my bag again. So I really think this may be a ploy for an extension. And we'll see.
Could be.
But he's shown it once that he's got a title. He's not worried about more titles. He's worried about the bag. And he has as a player and as a human being, he has every right to do that. But like we said before, it shows a lack of character, a lack of integrity when you leave your band of brothers behind to just chase the money, right? Because there's something that especially on football teams that they build this camaraderie, because they all got to be there for each other. Right, like they all got to be there. Like, look, we talked about the Bengals before, having all these key players where they excelled at their position, but they didn't make the playoffs, which means they were lacking somewhere else. You have to have a full team to be able to go the distance. And when you have a guy that's not totally bought in, that can start a fracture that could really, who knows how bad the crack could go, right? It's a little crack, but it could really make it a lot worse over time. So my thing for him is to just, calm down, chill out. I think it's more or less a chance for him to try to get more money, another extension. Other than that, though, if that's not what it is, well, I don't want to hear you cry because you can't re-narrate the history of what you've already done because we've seen it and you've proved it. So that's where I stand with that. I do think that he'll be a Dolphin. I don't think he's getting traded. I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he'll be a Dolphin.
Wudi.
I feel like you guys are bugging. The Tyreek Hill, he didn't go to the worst team in the league. He went to a team with an up-and-coming QB.
We didn't know that at the time, though. We didn't know that at the time.
What are you talking about? They had a lot of faith in Tua.
Yeah,
they had a lot of faith. I don't think there was a lot of jokes about Tua when he got there. there was a lot of jokes about Tua. Now he can't
But
throw
he
30
did
yards.
not, you cannot say that the Dolphins were a bottom of the barrel type team. You guys, that's what you guys are making it seem, that there was no chance. of
No.
him winning.
No,
I'm not saying that either.
I'm not saying that at all.
But
What
I
I'm
also know
saying
we didn't think Tua was what he became. I don't think nobody looked at Tua at that. Like, at least everyone around the league, there was a lot of people that kind of laughed at the whole Tua thing.
I mean, fans, yeah, NFL memes had a field day. That's true. But obviously, Mike McDaniel took the job and had a lot of faith in Tua. Brian Flores got fired because they had a lot of faith in Tua. That, Alex
he
Day
didn't
talked about
have
a
faith in
disconnect
Tua.
between Justin Fields, right? How the fans feel about Justin Fields and the NFL feels about Justin Fields. That's exactly what we're talking about right now with Tua. I don't think it's the same situation.
My point is this, Wudi, because I agree with you, and you're actually making my point for me. You just articulated it better because I should have came from that angle. What I'm saying is, yes, he went to a team that was supposed to win. So as long as it was all good, he was happy. Then it doesn't, and now he want to be out. That's what I'm talking about, is the weakness of character. That's my point. Like, no. You thought we was gonna win. You thought we was gonna be contending, and because we not, now you want to be out. You know what I mean? It's like having money and you get with your wife and everything is good. Then you lose everything, and she like, bye. You're like, what? Wait a minute. I thought you loved me. She's like, no. I love the money. And because you don't have none, I'm out. Your cousin got some. I'm finna go holler at him. Right? Like it's ridiculous. So that's what I'm saying. That's what it feels like Tyreek is doing. It wasn't that the team was whacked. They had a shot. They didn't live up to the potential. And because they haven't, now you want to be out. You didn't hear Tua saying, I want to retire. That man's playing with concussions. He could have trauma-induced Parkinson's when he gets older because of these things, and he's still playing. You don't hear Jaden Waddle talk about, man, I'm out. You don't hear nobody. I-Chain, the other dude, what's his name? The other fast running
Jalen
guy.
Ramsey. Oh, the other
Mostert.
You don't, Mostert, not hit, nobody. You're the only one who made more money
Jalen
than everybody
Ramsey's looking at
outside
leaving
of Tua.
too.
Well,
Jalen Ramsey now is looking at leaving.
Look,
Yeah,
well,
I
why
think
not? You're opening the door. I just think it, and he's another one that kind of got that prima donna thing, because I think sometimes they overrate corners and then they get exposed, and now this ain't the right environment. Yeah, I bet it ain't. You know what I mean? But again, that's what I think. Tyreek is doing. You know what I mean? And there was a dude named Snead who wanted his money too in Kansas City. They didn't want to pay him the amount, so he left. He go to Tennessee. I ain't heard a thing about him. He's on injured reserve, but what I mean is he ain't talking. He ain't doing nothing, right? He's like, I got my bag. I'm going to take it.
That's kind of my point, right? This is Snead's first year. Tyreek has been here. Like, this isn't Tyreek's first year. He came from Andy Reid, where he was catching passes from Alex Smith. He was catching passes from Mahomes. He caught passes from Chad Henne, not Blake Bortles, Blake something else. What is his name? I cannot think of it right now.
Griffin.
But he was catching passes, right? And it was all good. Now he's going through this offensive mastermind, offensive wizard, Mike McDaniel, big forehead, came from the Shanahan coaching tree. And he's expecting to be able to catch passes no matter who's back there. But Mike McDaniel is a fraud. He is a fraud. He is fool's gold. He cannot do a thing if Tua is not under center, right? Tyler Huntley, right? Snoop Huntley, looking like Snoop D-O-double-G when he's on the football field. Skylar Thompson, he looking like Keenan Thompson. I'm telling you right now, Mike McDaniel cannot do a thing when Tua's not under center. So Rick is like, yo, this guy sucks. Get me out of here. This is not what I signed up for. Yes, I signed up. I thought we had a chance. I thought, the money is good. I thought all this was happening, but this is not the situation. This dude cannot coach. I need to go elsewhere, and I respect that. Make your way out.
That's just whack. That's just so whack.
I loved it.
Let me ask you a question.
I loved it.
If you're the Dolphins, go around. If you're the Dolphins, do you grant him a trade?
I would.
I don't.
That's poison.
Yeah,
in your locker room. Yeah. I think it's because if you're trying to win, you can't have that around. You can't.
I'd rather just say go home until you get your shit right.
And you can get a nice return. Like, that's still Tyreek Hill. Like, yeah, so I would.
That's what
you're
I'm
getting it on. Down here, you're getting it on a. You're getting it.
No, but
less
he's still
than value.
But
it's
he's
still him.
Tyreek. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
your
still,
teams will give you a lot for him because he's proven his value. And
How many games did he miss this year?
I don't know.
Not that many. I don't
Yeah,
think.
like 4
3?
maybe.
Okay.
Yeah,
All I'm saying
like,
is, his numbers are down, absolutely. But all I'm saying is,
Patrol wasn't there.
what do you think the Steelers would do to get him, to add him to having Pickett?
Oh.
What do you think Cardinals would do? What do you think the Lions would do? Like teams like the Vikings would do.
Vikings don't need him. But I'll tell you what.
No.
Pittsburgh's a
but
great option. But who wants to go from Miami to Pittsburgh?
What would Buffalo, right? Even though the weather, I'm just saying, like to get somebody like that on your team, like just
the
what
Chargers.
It does.
Imagine the Chargers.
Wow,
dude.
Yeah.
like teams would take him. You know who else would take him? Dallas Cowboys, to get rid of Brandon Cooks and them with the other side of CD, and you're in a stadium. I mean, a dome. Like, come on, man. Like teams would give a lot to get Tyreek Hill. He's extremely valuable to the Dolphins, and I'm saying if he's going to be poison there, it's better to get rid of him because you can get a lot for his return. He's not injured. He's still him. I think it would be like a lot of teams would. You'd be surprised what they would get offered to get him.
Preach. That went way longer than I thought it was going to go, and it was very depth, and I'm glad it did because it did shed some light on like where we are in terms of where we think Hill will go if he goes anywhere, or just his state of mind. Again, we don't know him, we don't claim to know him, and obviously our industry is based on speculation. So it was just a fiery moment that gave the industry pause. And
I just don't like it, and Morse don't like it either. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, 100%. Great. Now, look, it is playoff weekend. This has been a very, very heavy NFL pod, and it's going to continue to be because, this guy's rubbing his hands because it's playoff weekend. It's happening.
Cannot wait.
So let's jump into that, and then we'll talk. Maybe we'll get into some NBA real quick. But
we didn't mention Notre Dame today. No, shout out to Notre Dame. Great win last night over Penn State. It was a great game. I picked Penn State to win, and I was proven wrong. And it's good to see a young brother. He's like only 35 or something, going to a conference,
First.
College
right, and all of that. You know what I mean? So shouts out to them because I know we didn't really cover it, but shout out to them. Yeah, but I still think they lose to either Texas or Ohio State. Whoever wins tonight is the champion, in my opinion. But I digress. But go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's all good, man. It's going to be wild. Like tonight's game is going to be absolutely wild.
I can't wait.
If you get a chance, make sure you watch that game. Okay, so let's talk about this. Now we did set out some 2025 Super Bowl predictions. This is your chance to redo that. This is your chance to predict the matchups and predict winners. If you do remember, I wrote mine down. I don't know if you guys wrote yours down, but I will say mine.
No need to do that.
I do. I have to do that for me. Yes, I need to do that for me.
It's erroneous.
It's listen, man,
when the facts change, my opinion changes.
I'm not saying that mine won't change. I'm just saying I wrote mine down, and now I'm like,
to remember.
Yeah, to remember.
Okay,
That's all I'm saying.
All right.
So I had. So let's talk about. Do we want to go right to the Super Bowl? I'm gonna throw this to the field. Do we want to go right to the Super Bowl, or do we want to talk NFC champs, AFC champs?
I think we should talk about the picks for this week.
Oh, great. Yeah, let's do that. That's fine. Yeah, let's do the picks this week.
Because my Super Bowl, real quick, I think the Bills win the AFC. I'm pulling for Josh Allen, and I think they meet my boys because I got to be it's playoff time. Now I'm all biased. It don't matter. I'm going full heart and emotion. Eagles against the Bills. There we go. Anyway, next subject. The games this weekend. That's what I'm going for. I don't care. You can say what you want.
No,
listen.
I just love it. I love it. Okay, well, let's go Wudi first. Let's talk about the games this weekend. All right. So let's pick some winners or pick the marquee games that you want to pay attention to.
I mean, I know the Commanders and the Bucks, right? That's gonna be a shootout.
Yeah.
I got Baker Mayfield just winning the shootout there.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's really impressed me. The whole world besides Caleb clowned him, right? Said he was trash. I'm not gonna lie. I thought
we lost him.
Last year was an outlier. And then this year he and remember, we all got on this show when Mike Evans and Chris Godwin was lost in the same game, and we were like, damn, well, Baker was having a good season. It was a good run. True. Then he's out here throwing to Jalen McMillan. He's out here throwing to Cade Otton. He's making new stars, continuing to do work, and he is top 5. In some categories, top 3 in just about every single QB category. All right, did what he could going out of his way to help Mike Evans keep his streak. Tremendous teammate, tremendous football player. I'm saying that he's going to get a playoff win, with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't want to take up the whole slot here, so I'll just mention 2 other games. I think the Chargers is a smackdown.
You should pick every single playoff.
Oh, every game. All right.
Just say who's.
Here we go. The Chargers.
You're acting like there's 20 of them. You're acting like there's 20 of them. It's like,
all right, the Chargers. They smacking the Texans. This is probably the closest we're going to see to a blowout.
Okay.
Ravens. I mean, if it's not one of these games is going to be the biggest blowout of the weekend, the Chargers or the Ravens. I'm sorry, Nigel. You know me. I was team let Russ cook. I really think it was a Pickens issue. Once Pickens went down, Russ, he had no ingredients. He didn't have his filet. He didn't have nothing. So the Steelers need to, get more in that receiving room, and that's why the Reek suggestion was such a good one, because Reek and Pickens would definitely wreak havoc all over the league. I think the Broncos and the Bills is a sneaky close game. Like, I know, Josh Allen, I'm right there with Caleb. I think Josh Allen is a generational talent, literally one of the best to ever play this game. It sucks that his team has never been able to match his intensity, and he has made stars out of Gabe Davis, who completely disappeared after leaving Josh Allen's side, right? But this is another situation where his team might disappoint him, because Sean Payton has these Bo Nix looking like, I don't even know. He looking like, one of the greatest quarterbacks in the league right now. So I think, Sean Payton will have things up his sleeve. I think this is a shootout. And unfortunately, we know the Bills in the playoffs, when shootouts happen, Josh is always ready, but it's not always up to the offense, right? If I feel like this is one of those where whoever gets the ball last, and that's a 50-50 shot, is winning the game. I'll go with the Bills, but I really think this is a very, very sneaky close game. The Eagles and the Packers, I think this is another close game, but overall, I actually agree with Caleb. I think the Eagles are coming out of the NFC. So I'm having them win this narrow, close game. I already said the Bucks over the Commanders. And last but not least, my boy Sam Darnold. Biggest game of his life, the whole world watching. And my man, it was rough. It was rough. And, you look at the Rams. The Rams are such a good team. I feel like they're an underrated team. Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, Matthew Stafford, who still, with a ring, still gets disrespected. He is one of the all-time greats. You look at all these QBs, their arm angles, the no-look throws, everything that we hype up Patrick Mahomes for, Josh Allen, with all the different arm talent. He, is one of the pioneers of all that. Does he have enough in the tank? Sean McVay against the Vikings? No, give me the Vikings, man. Sam Darnold bounce back season, bro. All right, he was embarrassed on national television. He bouncing back. Jettas on the flight home was just talking like, yo, come on, Sam. Come on. They were running routes all week getting ready for this. The Vikings, they bouncing back. They smacking the Rams. Those are my picks.
Gene.
Yeah.
All right, so let's start in the AFC. Houston and the Chargers. We've seen a little bit of a regression from the quarterback over there in Houston. I love the kid.
A little bit?
But, I'm being nice, respectfully. He has regressed. Do I still think there's a great future for him? 100%. I think we put too much pressure on him. I think he caught the league snoozing last year. And I think there's just been a little bit too much pressure on him. The weapons that he got didn't really last the way we'd want him to last, I think. I got the LA Chargers coming into Houston and taking that one. I just love what they got going on in LA between Lad McConkey, Harbaugh. There's just something special going on there. Is J.K. Dobbins, is he healthy again or is he hurt again? I don't even know, but they're going to be fine. So I got the LA Chargers taking that one. Pittsburgh and Baltimore. Again, I got to echo Wudi on this one, Nigel. I'm sorry. The Pittsburgh Steelers are kind of limping into the playoffs right now. I think they've lost 4 or 5 in a row. Baltimore, they're always good until they get a little bit later in the playoffs. I think this is going to be, I don't think it's going to be close at all. I think this is going to be a mollywhopping of the Steelers. Down some injuries. They're just playing from behind right now. So I got Baltimore winning that one. Denver and Buffalo. I love Bo Nix. Like, if any of us remember, he's the guy that I said the Jets draft the quarterback. I think Bo Nix is the guy I want. He's got a ton of snaps in college, ton of years in college. He's older. He's I feel like he's going to be one of the better guys to come out of the draft. He's playing phenomenally. He looks like a veteran back there for a lot of the parts of it. But Buffalo, they got that loser at quarterback. The only good thing he's ever done was get Haley Steinfeld to agree to marry him. I don't know how that happened because he's a loser. But I got to go Buffalo on that one. Let's take it to the NFC. Bucks and Commanders. I think the nice little ride the Commanders have been on ends here. They had a nice season. It's a building block. They got a new coach, a new quarterback. It's a building block. They're going to add some more weapons. They have a nice foundation, but baby steps. Bucks, they're kind of getting healthy at the right time. Mike Evans is there. I know they don't have Godwin, but I love Baker in this situation. I think he's going to bowl out this game here. Philly, Green Bay. I think Philly actually comes out firing. I don't think this one's going to be close at all. I think Philly's going to put a whooping on Green Bay. I think a lot of them have some want to answer a lot of critics, and Saquon Barkley can run over any defense, right? So I got Philly winning big, and Minnesota and the Rams. Listen, the only reason why the Vikings are on the road right now isn't because they're not as good of a team as the Rams. It's because the way the seeding works, right? But they are a better team than the Rams. I think Minnesota wins this one going away. Maybe LA makes it a game early and Minnesota just pulls away. But I got Minnesota winning that one pretty big too.
Wow. All right, so I'm gonna jump in right quick. So playoff atmosphere changes everything, right? It's just different. So I'm gonna say that before I get into it. So all right, so I'm gonna start with the Commanders in the Bucks. Now, y'all all know how I feel about Baker. That is my man. I'm so happy for him. I love to see him do what he's doing. But I'm gonna pick the Commanders in this game for one reason: LaShawn Lattimore. I think he comes back, and him coming back, I think he adds that element of defense in the secondary that is needed when because Baker, y'all know Baker is gonna sling that ball. And he does not mind throwing it into danger because he bets on his receiver. But when you got a corner out there like Lattimore who can play, that could be a swing where it's one pick here, one knock pass there that they don't get. That I think Jaden Daniels is a dynamic enough quarterback, somebody that the Bucks have not faced like that yet in this situation and playing at home. I just think I don't know. I think Washington is special with Scary Terry out there with this. Like, I think he might have enough to win this game. Like, I do. I expect the Bucks to show up, but I just think Washington I think they may pull this one out. So I'm going to say Washington wins this game. I think Jaden shows something and is able to do it. Right. So there's that. Okay. Eagles, Packers, I couldn't agree more with Gene. I'm hoping it's a mollywop. I'm hoping we just mop the floor. I don't want to see nothing close. I want to see us whooping them. But I do, but I do trust. I do like Jordan Love a lot. And I'm hoping Hurts doesn't kill us because he's actually our weakest link on offense. He is on offense. He's our weakest link. He's the one that makes the mistakes, right? And he's going to have the ball 100% of the time. So, that's a little nerve-wracking, but that's still my team. So I'm hoping we do that. Now, Vikings, Rams. I gotta roll with y'all. I think the Vikings whoop the Rams. I really do. I think it'll be close until after halftime. And then I think it just goes. I think Justin Jefferson is extremely upset because of what happened last week. He did not look happy. He looked very upset. Addison, I think what's my boy? I don't know why I'm blanking on the running back. Let's Packers for years. Yeah, Jones. I think it's gonna be good. This warm weather, you know what I mean? I think Darnold does this thing, so I think the Vikings come back and win. Okay, Bills and Broncos. Listen, I don't think this is going to be a close game. I think the Bills are going to smack the Broncos. I think it's going to be close. Like first quarter, Nick's is going to do his thing, but I just think I think the Bills are going to do it. If it is close, I'm still going to pick the Bills because I just think quarterback to quarterback, stop it. You know what I mean? So there's that. Okay. The Ravens Steelers, guys, I'm going with Russ. I think the Steelers can do it. I think the Steelers can do it. One thing, let me tell you why. Let me finish, right? Here's why I think they have a shot.
I'm kind of afraid to let you finish. I think you should just walk away from it. That's fantastic.
Mic drop.
But here's the reason why. Zay Flowers not being there, he's 80% of where our guy Lamar looks first, even before Likely and before Andrews, right? On when he's passing. Him not being there changes things, right? It's just, oh shit. And that 1 second could be enough for a big old white dude who likes Subway named Watt to get them paws on you. That's all I'm saying, right? So, but let's just say, but it's interdivision. Anytime you got to play against a dude that's in your division, it's all that other stuff goes out the window because you know each other so well. There's emotion there. You're mad. It's a lot. Like, it changes. See, Denver and Buffalo, they don't even play each other. They're in the same conference, but they don't they don't know. There's nothing. If it was Jets and Buffalo, I'd be like, ooh, right? Like, because it's when you know each other, and I think that's a big difference. And because Zay Flowers is not there, I think it's going to be more difficult. The Steelers have already shown that they can stop Henry. At minimum, slow him down, right? I'm just saying, I think it's going to be closer than what people think just because they're so familiar. And so I'm going to go out on a limb because I know everybody picked the Ravens there. I'm going to say I'm picking the Steelers in a huge upset. I just don't. I feel bad saying that because if Lamar loses this game, oh my God, the media is gonna crucify that young brother. Oh my God, right? So, but I'm gonna pick that. And then the last AFC game, which what am I blanking on? No, it's one more.
The Chargers Texans.
Oh, Chargers Texans. As much as I hate it, I think the Chargers are just better. They're just a better team right now. I think CJ is in his head. When I saw him crying, having to walk off the field and cry when Tank got hurt, I was like, ooh, you're not built for this. Like, because this is part of it. Like, he's not dead. It ain't like he got shot in the street. Like, he hurt his leg. Okay? Like, it sucks, but damn. Like, you over there. Like, I mean, he's crying. Like, got to blow his nose crying. You know what I mean? I'm like,
I like the definition, like of where on the scale of how hard it gets him because he's blowing his nose. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
like
you know what I mean. But y'all know what I meant when I said blow your nose crying. You're like, yeah, that's
of course.
So it's like, I don't know if he's mentally in that position. Like, is he scared to throw the ball in a certain window because he's scared the guy might get hurt? Right? Like, those kinds of things that Baker don't ever worry about. I don't think Baker Mayfield has ever concerned himself what was going to happen to the receiver wherever he put that ball.
Zero.
Right? So
that's how he ended up in Tampa Bay, bro. He found no ways. Oh.
Exactly. So I think that's going to play a case, and I think I got to go with the Chargers. So those are my picks for the weekend. And I know, they're pretty much everybody knew I was going to lean, except with the Steelers. I think that Zay Flowers injury is going to ring loud. And I think the Steelers could do it just because they're in the same division. And this will be the third time they've seen each other. And the second time they've seen each other fourth time they've seen each other. And the second time they've seen each other in back to back. Like they just saw each other last week off, back to playing each other. Like that's a rematch you don't want. You know what I mean? Like they know you too well, so it's gonna be interesting.
Okay, to close it out, I'm gonna go through this real quick. I feel like for some reason, I think it's gonna be Houston. First game, Chargers, Texans. Texans are going to take it. I think it's going to be weird. I think it's going to be a weird game. I think
you said the Texans. Okay.
Yeah, I think the Texans. I think it's going to be like a weird, 21-17 or 21-14. Like it's not going to be crazy high score, and it's going to be slightly close, but not really because I don't feel like. I feel like Stroud's going to get his rhythm back, but it's not going to be full. I think they're going to get dusted in the next week if they make it through. That's how I feel about that. Pittsburgh, Baltimore, obviously I got to go with the home team, but I truly in my heart of hearts think that, to Caleb's point, having a marquee player like that can actually take out a team mentally, especially a receiving core or a group of positional group, and it actually changes the dynamic. Sure, man, there's been marquee players that have been out of games for injuries or whatever in the past, and it's happened and people have worked through it. But we all know, and I have been the catalyst for this in our group chat, that Lamar Jamar Safar, once he gets his back up against the wall and he's just like things aren't really working as well as they should be, he starts to scramble recklessly. He becomes very unhinged. And I think that, again, to Caleb's point, because they've played each other so many damn times, the first half is going to be a tale of two halves. I'm going to put it that way.
Yep.
It's going to be a tale of two halves. The first half is going to be either really boring or it's going to be lights out, and then vice versa, switch it up for the second half. It's going to go that way, I think, for that game. But I'm going to go with my boys. I'm going to go with Pittsburgh on that one. Denver at Buffalo. I think this is going to be tighter than we all think. I think Buffalo's going to win, but I think Bo Nix and those ponies are going to show Buffalo what's up, and I think it's going to be awesome. I think that might be my number one game that I'm excited about other than my home team. I think that game is going to be great. Denver's got all the momentum. Buffalo's just got to stay at the top. That's all it is. So it's going to be a fight. Philly, Green Bay, again, love. We all do. Green Bay just doesn't have enough weapons, doesn't have enough firepower. It takes them too long to get going. So I'm going to go with Philly. Again, Hurts is back. We know this. But that's going to take some time for them to kind of get their thing going. So the game's going to be I think the game's going to be ugly. I think it's going to be an ugly game. But I think Philly's going to win out. The penultimate, Tampa Bay, Washington. This one I'm having a really hard time I'm having a real hard time with this one. I keep swaying back and forth. And I'm just going to go with Washington here, but I'm not convinced that's Washington.
Right.
I just, you know what I mean? Like, I think this might be this will be another fun game. And I can't wait to see what Daniels does. I think this is the comeuppance of the Commanders or the Washington Football Club. I think everything they do from here is just going to be up and up, and the fan base is rabid. Like, they are just so stoked. I think they're going to really ride the coattails. Either way, whatever happens. But I think I'm going to go with Washington slightly give them an edge, which will be an upset, I think. And last but certainly not least, this one is another tight one for me. I think I want to go with this is a tough one, man. I'm going to go with the Rams. I'm going to go with the Rams on this. Yep, I'm going to go with the Rams on this because I think the offense, because they're starting to really roll, Puka Nacua, like they just have a lot of weapons that can come out in the clutch. That's what it is. It's the clutch game that I'm looking at. Minnesota is more methodical. Minnesota will have big plays. They've got runners. They've got catchers. We all know who they have on the sides, Addison and Jefferson. We know this. They'll have big plays, but I think it's the energy in the clutch of LA. The stadium's going to be packed. It's going to be loud. It's indoors. It's going to be a shootout. I think there's going to be a shootout, but I'm going with the Rams. That is it. That is all. That was very stressful for me.
Hey, my question is this: could the game get postponed because of the fires?
No.
It's in Arizona.
They moved it to Arizona already.
Oh, they already did move it. Okay.
Yeah.
They moved
the
it
NFL
yesterday.
can't have no postponement of playoffs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, not postponement, but like you said, move it or something. Like I didn't know.
They
did.
did. They moved it to Glendale.
Yeah,
Okay.
yesterday. Yeah.
Quick thing too. I just seen it came out just like during the show, the All Pro list. If you guys want to go over it real quick.
I did not see that yet. The All Pro list. So that came out last week or the week.
That was
all Pro Bowl. All Pro just came out like about an hour ago.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah,
So-
quickly go over that, Gene. Go ahead.
All right, so we got the two edges are Miles Garrett, Trey Hendrickson. The two interior linemen are Cameron Hayward, Chris Jones. Linebackers, three of them are Zach Bowen, Fred Warner, Roquan Smith. Corners are Patrick Surtain the second, Derek Stingley Jr. Slot is Marlon Humphrey, and the safeties are Xavier McKinney and Kirby Joseph. Any disagreements there on defense?
Not really. I mean, you can debate and put a couple people, but
Yeah, I
for the
mean,
most
yeah.
part, yeah.
You know, I would have liked to see Jamie Sherwood get a little because he think he was like
He's
led the league
definitely
in
not our
tackles.
first team All Pro. You're bugging.
Yeah.
He led the
You're
league in tackles, bro.
Solo tackles, yeah.
So all right, and then we go to All Pro for special teams. We got kicker Chris Boswell, punter Jack Fox, kick returner for Cavante Turpin, punt returner Marvin Mims, special teamer Brendan Schooler, long snapper Andrew DiPaola. I wouldn't even know who to pick for long snapper.
No.
Chris Boswell was fantastic in fantasy.
Yeah.
Well deserved All Pro.
Absolutely. Stand out.
Yeah.
And here we are on offense. Quarterback, Lamar Jackson. Running back, Saquon Barkley. Fullback, Patrick Ricard. Tight end, Brock Bowers. The three wide receivers, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Amon Ra St. Brown. Left tackle, Tristan Wirfs. Left guard, Joe Tooney. Center, Creed Humphrey. Right guard, Quinn Miners. And right tackle, Penei Sewell.
The quarterback, of course, you can't argue with Lamar. He's had the best stats, but you know who I would have there.
Josh
there's
Josh
also
better win the
another
MVP. That's all I gotta say about that.
There's also another guy that you could always just put there who you can never argue. So we're not going to talk about him because you know who he is, right? So, but outside of that, I mean, it's like, yeah, who are you going to argue? Like, you can't argue. Could CeeDee Lamb be there? Of course. Could AJ Brown? Of course. But they didn't have the kind of season that Amon-Ra, and that's the only person you could move out.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
You know what I mean?
The quarterbacks. Yeah, I mean, I think the offense is pretty good.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. I mean, I mean, it's all subjective. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, if I was one of those players, cool, man. Thank you. I got work to do. You know, it's just like it's great to have those credentials when I'm going to be on PTI or if I'm going to be on Get Up. You know what I mean? Like,
I think today it's okay, cool, and then contract time comes around. Oh, you remember
that's where it matters.
year.
But they also get bonuses for that. All that's in the
it's in contracts and stuff.
That's
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
True. Hey, we've had the best time. Thank you for riding with us. We really appreciate you. We've gone a little bit over, but it was well worth it. I hope you guys had.
We've been gone for 2 weeks. Jesus.
Yeah, that's also true. Yeah, it's because I've been gone for a week. I'm like, so we really appreciate you coming on. Shout out to once again to Alex Day, the man, the myth, the legend, for coming on here, spending more time than he actually said he could, which is phenomenal. So that was really nice of him to do that. Make sure you check him out on the socials, Alex Day 7 on IG. Check him out on all the other platforms, whatever you're into. And you know what, man? It was an absolute blast to be back. We all had a nice little break. We celebrated some birthdays, another rotation around the sun, and we will be back at it once again next Friday. Don't be surprised if there's a new look. Don't be surprised if there's a new look. I'm just going to put that out there. Just don't be surprised. And if it's not next week, it'll for sure be the week after. That's on me. So what do we got? Weekend words here. Gene, weekend words.
I want to shout out the show it debuted last night on the channel, TOL and Friends. If anybody's familiar with the New York area, WFAN, they're all part of the WFAN crew. Tremendous. I mean, it's where I learned about sports talk when I was growing up. It's what I listened to 24 hours a day. It's the big sports talk station in New York. They are part of that, and they are now doing a show 7:45 on Thursday. So if you missed it last night, make sure you tune in next week, Thursday at 7:45. And we've been talking about it. Stay tuned. We got a lot of new things coming up starting the week of February 17th. There's going to be about 3 shows edited at that point as well. So stay on the lookout for that. And I'm really proud to see what this channel is really becoming. we're becoming a fully operational channel and with a bunch of different content and personalities, and it's really exciting to see where we're going. So I just want to say good luck to the new show from last night, to you, Al, and make sure you guys tune in for it.
Nice. Caleb, weekend words, my man.
Everybody enjoy your weekend. Be safe and sit in front of the TV. I think this week is going to be phenomenal for sports, especially in football. I can't wait. And for those of y'all that love tennis like I do, the Australian Open starts Saturday.
That's all Caleb. Wudi.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, definitely a big week for football. We're not the only people that took a break. The UFC has been on hiatus. That hiatus ends tomorrow. People they try to some people try to crack on different divisions of the UFC, but me personally, I love it all. I love all the divisions. My girl Mackenzie Dern trying to avenge her first loss against Amanda Ribas. So yeah,
it's gonna be good. Ribas is gonna win again. That's good. I didn't even mention it.
Hey, chill.
The following weekend is the
fall. Yes. Hey,
yeah.
So
that's gonna be
there might be a new look on the show, and you best believe Caleb and I will be giving picks. We talking about the pound for pound Islam Makachev. We got Mirab. I mean, the next weekend's card is
crazy, and
I don't know how the
card is sick. The card is sick, and that weekend's going to be insane because there's more football.
Oh, don't worry. I'm sure our fans love that segment, Fight Night with everyone else but Nigel and Gene. Everybody loves that segment. Okay, sick. And from me, listen, I would tell y'all I'm going to buy a hat today, but it already showed up. I got to open the box. Hey, have a fantastic weekend. Please be safe. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all, and we'll see you next week. Peace.